Bad Boys, Forgiveness and Soldiering On this week on Arsenal Nation. Hello, welcome to Arsenal Nation. As ever, loads and loads to talk about and two very special guests. So please welcome our first one. They are both making their debuts today. Nick Bright from Radio 1. Hey. Wow, I love that. Loads of energy. Next to him is Chris Wheatley from Goal.com. A little bit more reserved. Boys, I know it's not really been going very well for Arsenal at the moment, but we've got something to put a smile back on your face, and we want to talk about this blossoming relationship between Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Mr. Lacazette. Have a little look at this. This was from the Instagram of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, tagged in Alexandre Lacazette, Bad Boys, and then followed up with this, which obviously is a brilliant film. But I wanted to know which one you'd rather be out of the two. Obviously, Will Smith is an amazing actor.
For me, I'd rather be Will Smith, aka Mike Lowry. That's his character in the movie. He drives a Porsche, like he gets the girls. I mean, it sounds like I'm describing myself, apart from I don't get the girls and I don't drive a Porsche. But so besides the point, I'd much rather be Will Smith.
Chris, that leaves you as Martin Lawrence. Are you happy with that?
Not really, to be honest. I'd rather be Will Smith. The fast car, obviously, Aubameyang has a fast car as well, nice Ferrari, so probably go for Will Smith as well. OK, let's bring it back to football then. So obviously we've seen that they've got quite a good relationship off the pitch, but what do we think about the two on the pitch? Well, we saw in the recent win against Stoke, Lacazette was given that penalty by Aubameyang, and I think that's the kind of brotherly relationship that you want to see in a team. Two strikers absolutely loving each other, loving the company, and you can see it on the pitch when they played together for the first time at the weekend. They really did well together. Obviously, it wasn't a great result, but they linked up well for that opening goal, and I think there's going to be more to come, especially in the Premier League. Obviously, Aubameyang's cup-tied in the Europa League, but we're going to see next season as well more of that.
Yeah, Nick, the only negative I'd say is, do we want to see a little bit more competition between them?
I mean, competition's nice, but I'd like to see them both banging in goals. That's what I want to see the most, like, you know, smashing in hat-tricks left, right and centre. But for me, like, I think we might be ready to go back to controversial 4-4-2. Maybe we could see Arsenal going back to classic 4-4-2 formation. Been struggling a little bit at the back. We could play 4 defenders, 4 in the middle, 2 up the front. Lacazette, Aubameyang, hat-tricks left, right and centre, I'm telling you.
Bueno, boys, both good points. Now let's have a little look at this. We want to talk about forgiveness. Cesc Fabregas tweeted out this. So somebody asked him, would he return to Arsenal in a coaching form in the future? And he just simply replied with, of course. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of history with Cesc Fabregas and us, but is it time to forgive and forget? And would you welcome him back in a coaching role, Chris?
Definitely. I think Cesc Fabregas is an absolute legend, and what he's done in the game is fantastic. He's a World Cup winner, and he was a great player for Arsenal. Obviously, players leave for different reasons, but this guy is an Arsenal legend, in my opinion, and definitely welcome him back. Coaching the next generation of midfielders would be fantastic.
Nick, any bad blood for you?
Not with Cesc. I feel like, because the rumour is he was offered to Arsenal before he went to Chelsea, you know, and we didn't want him, and then he went to Chelsea. That, for me, signifies that he wanted to come back to Arsenal. We were first dibs. So I've never really had a problem with Cesc Fabregas, but to see him back at the club in a coaching role would be great. He's a fantastic midfielder, and I'd love to see him, you know, working with, as Chris said, the next generation of ballers out there, man. It would be sick. OK, as you're both in forgiving moods, I'm going to float some names for you, and I just want you to tell me if you forgive him or not. Adebayor?
No way.
Never.
No?
Never.
Clichy?
Yeah, definitely.
Ashley Cole?
Never, ever, ever, ever.
Definitely yes, 100% yes. I think Ashley Cole, absolute legend of the game, best left-back in the world when he was playing. And yeah, it's been a long time. It's been over 10 years since he left Arsenal. He could be coaching, like Fabregas, the next generation of fullbacks, and he's the kind of coach Arsenal would need. Legend.
I mean, would you forgive your girlfriend if she cheated on you, Chris? I mean, this is an outrageous claim.
Depends. If she's a nice person, then why not?
Oh my gosh.
If she's a nice person, she wouldn't have cheated on you in the first place.
Good point, Laura.
All right, fine. Last one, Nasri.
Oh, no.
No way.
No, definitely not.
No.
Right, we're going to move the conversation along a little bit. This is one of my favourite parts of the show, actually. It's a yes or no. And this week, it's with the tank, Sead Kolasinac.
No. No. Yes. No. 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 No.
You sure?
Yes. Yes. No.
I love him. He's so direct, isn't he? I know it's a game of yes or no, but I mean, those are pretty definitive no's.
He's to the point, isn't he? No.
I mean, you're not going to mess with me either. No way.
No, absolutely not. OK, right, let's move it on because we want to talk about our thoughts on incentives. Now, you might have seen this story. It's one of my favourite stories that's come out all season. This is the owner of Accrington Stanley. He got in trouble, actually, with the EFL for using McDonald's as incentives for his players. So basically, when his players won a game, he would buy them McDonald's. What do you think of that?
Well, I hope it was a Happy Meal, first and foremost, you know, because you get a toy with that.
After a win, it must have been, right?
Exactly, you know.
But they're tiny. You need a few each.
Yeah, but I mean, they are footballers after all. You know, you can't go in with a triple Mac or whatever it's called, you know.
All right, so what I want to know is what incentives would you give the Arsenal players for the remaining time of the season? So not just in Europe, but also to do well in the Premier League or as well as we could possibly do. So we'll start with you, Chris.
Well, I think Mesut Ozil, we know he's a big Dragon Ball Z fan, so definitely get him some Dragon Ball Z cards. Petr Čech, obviously. I'd get him a diamond-encrusted headgear.
So you'd like towie up Petr Čech, basically?
I think so. I know he's not a glamorous kind of goalkeeper, but I think we need to make him glamorous.
OK, I hear that. Well, for me, I would probably... We're going to win the Europa League. Let's just, like, stamp our authority on that straight away, if I can say it. We're going to win it, and once we win it, I would give Lonely Planet Guides as an incentive for when we go into the Champions League next year. So Lonely Planet Guide for Bayern Munich, for example, yeah.
I think we needed one of those for the Europa League, actually, this season. I had no idea what half those teams were.
I don't think they write Lonely Planet Guides for Bate Borisov.
For Serbia,
yeah. All right, so what do we think of this? Aaron Ramsey strapped his leg up after... I can't even look at that. Oh, my God, it makes me feel sick. These are staples in his leg. He carried on playing, obviously, in that game. That was against CSKA Moscow, the second leg of that. So what do we think about soldiering on? First of all, that's pretty heroic from Aaron Ramsey, isn't it?
That's a brutal injury, and you know, as someone who's got a couple of tattoos myself, I'd be devastated if I had a big cut like that on my tattoos. Yeah, it's like it would ruin it.
Yeah. You have to get it redone, wouldn't
Big up Rambo for carrying on, because I didn't think he'd be able to carry on.
I mean, this is a guy, he's a trooper. He's been through a lot, the broken leg and everything, so no surprise to see him carrying on.
Yeah, that was nothing for him there, really, was it?
Right,
all right, Nick, when have you soldiered on?
Regularly, because of my work, DJing and being on the radio early in the morning, I often have to go to work with a hangover. If I'm DJing somewhere, a lot of the time I'll go straight to work from DJing.
Does anyone have a violin?
Listen, trust me, it's a hard job being on the radio playing those tunes whilst your head's pounding, you know, and you're trying to get a barocca down your neck in between music. It's hard, you know? Oh.
Go on then, Chris.
When I was 7 years old, my friend was giving me a piggyback. Someone pushed me off. I broke my leg. My reaction was to laugh about it. I laughed about it for 2 days. The teachers didn't believe me. My mum didn't believe me. In the end, I didn't get seen in the hospital until 2 days later.
Modern day footballers need
Just
to
call
be
me
more like
Aaron
you, Chris. Exactly. OK, let's move it on, because this was in the press earlier on. There was a ranking system for Premier League managers, not for stats, but how good their haircut is. So, bearing in mind, that's obviously an odd way to rank people. What other ranking systems would you use other than stats? What would be a good system to use, Chris?
I think we could use jewellery, maybe measure it by the kilo. We know a lot of footballers are into their bling. Aubameyang absolutely loves the bling. I think he'd probably be winning that one, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Nick?
There's loads of things that I would use. Trainers, because I like trainers. You could see who's got the most pairs of trainers and stuff like that. But also, I was thinking maybe you could see who's top of the league in how many times footballers say, you know, we gave it 100% or 110%. Yeah, football cliches. You know, how many times they can squeeze them into those post-match interviews.
The boys worked really hard.
Or who says, you know, because Steven Gerrard was famous for doing that, wasn't he? Yeah, like he would totally have won that. I mean, he's probably like top of the all-time list there. But yeah, you know, just things like that I think could be quite funny.
Good answers. Now let us know if you have a better system that you think we should rank players and managers in. You can comment in the box below, or you can go on Twitter and use the hashtag #ArsenalNation. It's time for the back four. This is a quick fire round. 4 questions. Are you ready?
I was born ready.
Brilliant. Nick, you can go first then. Harry Kane has been claiming just about everything. What would you like to claim if you could?
I'd like to claim the internet, all of it, not just social media. I want the whole thing.
Go on, Chris.
Bit more niche, but that Mo Salah song that Liverpool fans have is fantastic. I think Arsenal fans should maybe do one for someone like Granit Xhaka, maybe.
How would it go?
Xhaka, da 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 da. Oh, Granit Xhaka, da.
I actually quite like that. That's pretty good. All right, Beyonce has also been singing. She's been at Coachella this week. She reformed Destiny's Child. Which Arsenal players would you like to reform?
I want the flat back four. I'd have all of them. But if I had to narrow it down, Tony Adams and Steve Bold or Martin Keown.
Yep. Go on, Chris.
Again, bit more left field. I'd say Alexandre Lacazette and Cesc Fabregas. Back in the day, past masters. Almost won the league with those two as well.
Pierre-Emerick nearly broke the internet with his sparkly beard. Have you ever seen anything more perfect, Nick?
Never. Never. Ever.
On a stadium pitch, maybe?
Oh, that's a good one, actually. OK, finally, Manchester City obviously have won the title. Do they get to join the group of amazing or the best Premier League teams ever? No?
No, they'll never have a golden Premier League trophy.
Chris?
Never.
What this guy said.
Perfect.
100%.
Well, that's great, because we're out of time. Boys, thank you very much. Did you enjoy your experience in Arsenal Nation?
I absolutely loved it. I mean, it was the highlight of my year, to be honest, to sit here with Chris.
Was it? Brilliant.
Yeah. Likewise, mate, likewise.
It's been amazing.
Good
To hear
fun,
that
good
song
fun.
as well, I mean, it was just the best.
You two get on far too well. We're supposed to be inciting arguments amongst you. Just a little plug before we go. You can get involved in the discussion, like we said, on Twitter using the hashtag Arsenal Nation. Comment in the box below. What do you think of this new song that we have for Granit Xhaka? Do you think the boys did OK? Anyway, we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Bye. They love each other.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait. Subscribe.